My name is Ellen Hodges Meharg.
And where do you live?
I live in Lakeland.
And how long have you lived in Polk County?
I have lived in Polk County since 1919.
1919. You've been here a long time. Where were you originally from?
I was born in Johnson City, Tennessee on February 2nd, 1894.
Well, you've told your age now, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
You have anything that you'd like to tell us that happened around your area when you first came into Florida along this time?
Yes, my family came to Florida in 1918 for my father's health, but he lived only 6 weeks after they came. And the reason he came to Lakeland was because my uncle, J.T. Hodges, had left Tennessee in 1904 and had come to Florida. So that was the reason we came to Lakeland. And my mother, just after we took my father's body back to Johnson City to bury him, my mother stayed in Lakeland. And I had my first job in Lakeland was with Mr. A.H. Devane, who was president of the State Bank of Lakeland. I had some very interesting experiences as his private secretary.
About what years were that?
That was 1919.
1919.
Yes. And I went to work for him, and my mother got the job for me because she evidently did a very good job, because he gave me the job sight unseen. And I came to Lakeland when Lakeland was, there were about 7,500 people in Lakeland, and it was a nice, sleepy town. In fact, the matter is, it was much nicer than it is now.
It's grown too much now.
It's grown too much now, and there are too many people there, and there's too much traffic, and there's too much of everything. And Mr. Devane was a developer, and he developed property all over the citrus grove, and he developed property. The thing that I remember most of one of his developments was down at what was then called Lake Stearns, which has now become Lake Placid. And he was, he always used to take his family and me on these trips, and we went down to Lake Stearns and spent the night in a ramshackle place where that was nothing but really it was just a screen porch was what it was. And the next morning we were walking with Mr. Devane's children, and we're walking around along the edge of Lake Stearns. And I stepped over what I thought was the log, and the thing moved off. It was an alligator.
Alligator, and that's now Lake Placid. It used to be called Lake Stearns.
It is now Lake Placid.
Well, that's interesting.
He bought 700 acres from the Consolidated Land Company in Jacksonville, and started Lake Placid.
Well, that's interesting. We're certainly glad you came today, and happy to have you with us, and hope to see you next year.
Well, I don't know whether I'm going through this again or not.
Well, we'd be glad to have you.